Oh, the madness of March is officially upon us. Welcome into another edition of Chat It Up Sports. Follow us all over social media at Chat It Up Sports. Also, wherever you get your podcasts as well. Don't forget to give us a listen on there, subscribe, rate, the whole thing. Again, the madness of March is upon us, and the first weekend has come and gone. Not too many upsets, not too many crazy Cinderella stories. A lot of coaches in these mid-major programs making major jumps to Power 4 programs. What's up? Welcome in. My name is Greg Larnard. To my right is Mr. Chase Green, aka CG, and to my left is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Miggy Malcolm Harris. And behind the scenes, pushing all the buttons, doing all of his good things, is our producer Joseph Guthrie. And not with us tonight is our man Garrett Talley. Fellas, it's the first weekend of March. It's March Madness. It is come and gone. Just want to talk about the bracket just in general. Give me your thoughts on how things have gone, because as Joseph and all of us were talking before the show, a lot of people seem to be a little disappointed with how this tournament has gone thus far. People love the Cinderella stories. They love the upsets. They love, the little guys upsetting the big guys. And we haven't seen a whole lot of that this tournament. So Chase, I'll start with you. Give me your just general thoughts on this tournament. Is it as good as it usually is, or is it kind of down a little bit just because we haven't seen a whole lot of those upsets? We haven't seen that March moment outside of Derek Queen against Colorado State. Sorry, Miggy.
Sorry, bro.
Ouch, guys.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Behind the scenes, shots fired. I'll be honest. I think this was, like, especially yesterday, was a really good day. I know it did not work in your favor, but the Florida UConn game was one of the best games we got to watch all year, no doubt about it. So that was, we got the, obviously, the Derek Queen moment. Thought there were some really good games overall. But yeah, we don't have these major upsets. But I've talked about it before. Excuse me. Welcome to sickness world. I think it's like short-term, like, happiness whenever you get like an upset, but then the later rounds, you wait, especially if it happens in the round of 32, you get in their big upsets. Like, do I really want to see UC San Diego in the Sweet 16 versus Michigan or against Ole Miss, or if that would have been Michigan? It's like, not really. I think, like, when you have 3 or 4 days to process on it, it's cool. Like, the round of 64 is fine because you get the quick turnaround, short-term gratification. That's great. But if it goes into the next week, you're like, I don't know any of those guys. I know there's a couple of Chattanooga boys on that UC San Diego team. That's all I know. But yeah, that's it. Like, I don't really care about that school, but we have some fun moments. Also, the SEC is rolling. So I don't know about you guys. It's been an all right tournament. Not great, but all right.
Miggy, what are your thoughts, Mig?
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell off the bat, right? It's a different day and age when it comes to college basketball. We'll talk about it, but you see the impact of NIL immediately, because these teams that were, kind of loaded, like, for example, Drake, for example, I thought they were going to go so deep in the tournament. Like, I had them Sweet 16, Super Bowl, Elite 8, and these teams like Oakland from a few years ago against Kentucky, like, we didn't have one of those things happen in this tournament, and it just shows you how college basketball is evolving. And to Chase's point, yeah, the SEC is just not a football powerhouse. A record 7 teams have punched their ticket to the Sweet 16, so it was a good week for the Southeastern Conference.
If you're doing the math at home, that's almost half of the field are SEC teams. It's not just a football conference. It's a basketball conference. It's a softball conference. It's a baseball conference. The Tennessee Vols baseball team, I know they've lost a couple of times over the last, week or so, but number one team in the country still. So shout out to the Vols and what they've been able to do on the baseball diamond. But just kind of talking off of both yours points, Chase, like, I get what you're saying. Like, I think a majority of the people would agree with you of, hey, like, yeah, the Cinderella's cool. You make, with Golke, you just mentioned him, obviously from Oakland last year, Mig, and that was a fun story. And they went off and they beat Kentucky and the whole thing. But for me, I personally don't mind. Again, I understand that I'm in the minority on this issue, but I really don't mind a smaller program getting to a Sweet 16 or making a run to a Final Four like FAU did. Sorry to the Tennessee fans that still have the PTSD on that, or like a George Mason, and that's kind of throwing PTSD shade at myself because they beat UConn on their way to the Final Four. Like, to me, those stories are fun because it's like the little engine that obviously isn't going to win a national championship. But I mean, shoot, Butler got there a couple of times. They had one of the ugliest championship games against UConn, in which UConn won. And then what was it? The game against Duke, where Gordon Hayward almost hit that shot to win the national championship. Like, some of these smaller schools are fun. The stories are really, really fun. And these kids get the NIL deals from it. Like, you got the manager from, what was it, McNeese?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got all of this NIL money, and he's got a bunch of different sponsorships, and it's just like so much craziness that can happen from these mid-major programs. So, yes, I love that. I love that aspect of it. I wish that there were more of those teams. I was rooting hard for UC San Diego to beat Michigan, not only because I like the upset, but also I had them in my bracket
Did you?
beating Michigan.
That would have been a good one.
That was the one. Like, I didn't have them getting very far. I didn't have them getting past that round, but I had them upsetting Michigan. So I was really hoping for that one, and they had an opportunity there late. And then, to your point, Miggy, about the NIL money, it seems to really be affecting these mid-major programs who generally would keep these kids in years past, like where they'd have to sit out if they wanted to transfer a year and then go to a program. Now, if anybody's good at a mid-major level, they're bolting for a big program because, one, there's going to be money, two, they're going to be on a bigger stage, and three, they have more of a realistic opportunity to make a run at a national championship. And one guy locally that comes to my mind just off the top of my head is a guy like Malachi Smith, who, played for the Chattanooga Mocs, and he was really good, got them to March in his last season. Then Lamont Paris bolted for, South Carolina. He's still there. And then Smith bolted for Gonzaga, and we weren't sure exactly how much he was going to play. He ended up playing a pretty decent role, played some big minutes for them down the stretch, and they made a nice little run in March Madness, as they usually do. A little down this year, only got to the round of 32, but still, like, the NIL money is really affecting these mid-major programs, and I think that's probably why people are like, this is a boring tournament because we don't have a lot of these upsets. Well, yeah, no shit. All of the good players are at these big level programs now because they've been getting money, and they're trying to poach kids from wherever they can get them, because here's the dirty little secret. It's much easier to recruit kids out of the portal than it is to actually do it from high school, because that takes a lot more time and it's more of a process.
Way more time.
Yeah, and like what Rick Barnes is doing. Look, he's just reloading. He's not revamping with these young kids. He's going out and getting a Chaz Lanier and a Dubar, and bringing in Akpara and guys like that. Like, it's so much easier, and like, you can be good right away with those if you get the right level of transfer portal kids in.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned FAU, because there's 3 guys from that tournament team that are in the tournament right now.
Yeah.
Like, you have John L. Davis at Arkansas, you have Martin at Florida, and then you got Golden and them at Michigan. Like, it's crazy. And then obviously Dusty May's coaching Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, those guys that made that team that could have all stayed together. Nah, dog. We going searching.
We're going to get ours.
Good money. I hear Coach Calipari pays real good cash.
Listen.
And I guess the 10 seed darling Arkansas is what we got out of that. Like, John L. Davis I don't even think he starts right now, but he was one of the best players in the country with that FAU team. So I don't know. I wonder if when these guys, like John L. Davis is a good example. You're going to go to a bigger school. You were the stud. You're averaging 20 a game. You had
John L. Davis does start for them, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know there for a while he did not. That's why I couldn't.
He is starting.
Yeah. But he's somebody else, like, takes a little bit smaller role compared to what he was. But I don't know. It's going to be weird how, like, the money evens out. But, oh, man, I was looking more at the distribution of money coming up from the TV deals. Like, it's going to be the wild, wild west, man. It's going to be crazy to watch. And some of these basketball schools are about to take real advantage of this. The Big East is about to be popping, buddy.
Are there schools specifically that you think are just going to have, like, this advantage, CG? Are there schools who are just like, man, they're licking their chops for what's the next 2 to 3 years are going to look like with these new TV deals?
If it's a basketball school,
Yeah.
St. John's. Sell Manhattan with money. Or sell Queens with money, right? Is it Queens?
Yeah, it's
Something like
Queens.
that.
Yeah.
Sell New York with money.
Yeah.
Sell New York with money. Sell it with Patino. Tough. Get to play at MSG like 10 times a year. That's a good one.
Y'all know I almost got on the MSG floor for a shooting contest at a halftime of a game St. John's game.
No.
Really?
While I was in college, yeah. So the funny story, just to interject quickly, since we're talking about it, I went with a friend of mine, like my best girlfriend from high school. She went to St. John's. I actually applied to St. John's, got in, just didn't go there, obviously. And so I went to the game with her. I don't even remember. I think they may have been playing Miami or something. And we were sitting like 16 rows off of the floor, like behind one of the baskets, like great seats, student section seats. And she gave me a St. John's shirt to wear. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'll root for the Johnnies. We get to the game. We're all sitting there. There's a bunch of us. And one of the ladies comes down with a clipboard and she comes right up to me. She goes, hey, would you like to be in a shooting contest at halftime of the game today? I was like, yeah, absolutely. She goes, oh, you're a St. John's student, right? I said, look at my t-shirt. Yeah, of course I go to St. John's. Duh. I'm sitting in the student section. Obviously I go here. Clearly didn't. And didn't ask me for any form of identification or my student ID or anything like that. Just took my word for it. And she said, okay, what's your name? Wrote me down, the whole thing. She comes back a couple of times throughout the first half. And then with about probably 5 or 6 minutes to go in the half, she comes back and she looks at my shoes. I was wearing my Timberland boots. She goes, oh, do you happen to have another pair of shoes on you? Because we can't let you on the floor with the Tims. I was like, oh, yeah, let me just pull these out of my back pocket real quick. Yeah, I got some. No, I don't have any
Timberlands,
other shoes. What are you
dude.
talking about? It's December in New York City. Of course I'm rocking my boots. It's cold as shit outside. And so I did not get a chance to do the shooting contest on MSG
Timberlands owes you.
floor.
Tim's owes you. They get back.
And the only time I've ever gotten a pair of shoes stolen was actually a pair of Tims. My very first pair of Tims. Went bowling one night with a bunch of buddies in high school. Just had gotten them for Christmas. Obviously, you take them off to put the bowling shoes on. I put them under the seat and didn't even realize it. But by the time the night ended, I went to go put my shoes back on. Those things were gone. Somebody
Can't trust the bowling alley, dude. Tough places. Tough places to leave shoes.
The Tims have not been good to me.
Do you still own a pair of Tims?
I do. I have the ones that I wore to MSG that day, to this day still. Yep.
Do you still own a pair, Miggy?
Oh, multiple, baby.
Multiple.
Come on now. You know who you're talking to.
Yeah, dog. I should know. I'm
the Tony Yayo of Chatt It Up.
You ain't wrong.
Wow. Did not expect that reference tonight. Did not expect that.
It's not on the bingo card.
No.
That was for Garrett
it
Thomas.
wasn't.
Yeah, shout out to GT.
It's a traveling man right now. That's a traveling man.
He sure is. He sure is. Well, you guys were talking about St. John's, and when you look at the bracket, I think a lot of people had them getting to at least the Sweet 16, if not an Elite 8, and then losing to Florida before they, got a chance to go to the Final Four. I know that's what I had in terms of my bracket. And to me, they were probably my biggest disappointment thus far in the bracket if we're looking over it, because they had such a great year. They won the Big East and, come in as a 2 seed in the tournament. The second year of Rick Pitino, they're hot. The defense is cooking. I know they have some guys that really can't make some shots and they're kind of missing a little offense, but defensively they were on point. Very tough team, and they figured they'd be a tough out, regardless of when they end up getting put out. But got put out in the round of 32, and to me that was my biggest disappointment so far of the tournament. When you look at all the teams and maybe somebody that got upset, and I really did not expect. First of all, I picked Kansas to beat Arkansas. It was the two underperforming head coaches, obviously Hall of Fame level head coaches with Bill Self and John Calipari, and then we get to the round of 32, and the two Italian guys, Patino and Calipari, they match up, and the Razorbacks get the better of the Johnnies, and that to me was my biggest disappointment. Miggy, what was yours as you look through the first weekend of the tournament thus far? I know there wasn't a ton of crazy big upsets, but to me that was my most disappointing one.
Yeah, there's only been 2 number 1 preseason teams that have lost in the first weekend, and both of them have been coached by Bill Self. The Kansas Jayhawks, to me, were the most disappointing team. Just to come out flat, man. They don't look like a Bill Self coached team. They're not physical, not playing fast. Defense is atrocious. And what's even worse is that you're stuck in a lifetime contract deal with Coach Self. He's not going anywhere. Like if what can you get? It's like
Is
moving
he
on
though?
from
Is he not going anywhere? I don't know. Like I would have liked to think that John Calipari wasn't going to leave Kentucky, but now he's with Arizona, or excuse me, not Arizona, Arkansas.
yeah. I mean, I
If he
Bill
doesn't
Self is
perform, he's going to
different.
get out of there at some point.
It really does feel like Bill's a little different.
It's
think
just a little
so?
different. Yeah, like he could lose 29 games and they'd be like, all right, you have a 1 year prove it deal. Don't let this happen again because of how much he's given to Kansas. I mean, he is
Well, yeah, I
Kansas
get that,
sports.
but after a certain amount of time where you're kind of constantly underperforming, if this happens 2 or 3 years, like y'all don't think he would be potentially on the hot seat to potentially get let go?
Mm. He won. He just that last natty was like it's just one of those things that just carries you in a different way. Like with Cal, you kind of kept getting the same formulas. Like you just couldn't finish in the tournament.
Yeah.
And Bill's just a little bit. You're elite. It felt like there for a while. It was like a Sweet 16. Yes, I know we have the two big faults, but for a while, it didn't feel like that. He was, keeping guys. Hunter Dickinson, what a terrible, terrible experiment.
Yeah.
Ugh. Go back. It just feel like, and Mickey, didn't it feel like they just wanted to quit too? Like that was
Yes,
the
it felt
team.
like they were ready to go and just like, all right, like what are we doing after the game? Like just no fire. It just didn't feel like a Kansas team. You know when you used to step on the floor and albeit it was for a very short time, but like Andrew Wiggins, like they were hooping, dog. Kansas
Yeah.
had some dogs. Like it just I was not fearful of Kansas at all in an NCAA tournament. And that's just unlike college basketball. So they're my biggest disappointment. And then also honorable mention, I do want to talk about Texas really quick. Just I thought they would give some teams some real issues. And to go out like that on opening night, what's it called? First four?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't happen. So of course they've made changes, but I don't even know who Texas goes and grabs.
Oh,
You know?
have you not seen
Yeah,
have you
Rodney
not seen
Terry got let go.
have you not seen the news?
No, you know me. I've been traveling. What's the news, man?
Sean Miller's going, brother. He's
Oh
leaving
my,
Xavier.
oh my
The
Sean
gosh!
Miller to
team that he
Texas.
beat.
How
Yeah.
poetic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you have deep pockets, man. I mean, Texas used to be an elite. They should be what Tennessee is in terms of an athletic department, meaning the
Or
balls.
better.
Yeah,
They
there's
should be
no
better.
reason. There's no reason why.
In all aspects, all sports.
Yeah, like,
Seriously.
I'm shocked that Danny White does not go to Texas.
Please don't do that, Danny. Stay.
He
in Ohio State.
our brother was looking nice back there on the coaching bench.
I mean,
He's
loves
good.
it.
He's gonna
He's
stay
always
right
looking
here.
fly.
Oh,
He's
no,
already he won AD of the year, man. Like this is where we are at as a Tennessee program is like unprecedented. Like it's crazy how many good sports we have right now.
Y'all
Like,
listen to this. I was in a group chat, number 1 in baseball, number 6 in men's basketball, number 6 in tennis, number 7 in softball, number 9 in football, number 17 in indoor men's track, number 20 in women's basketball, number 22 golf team.
whoa.
That's pretty damn good.
That's the
Whoa.
best
Pretty
in America.
damn good.
BIA.
It can't be there can't be. I'm sure there's somebody that's close. But damn, dude. That's crazy. Especially like how good and the fact that let's be honest, we'll mention it again, but the fact that Tennessee changed college baseball really has a little oomph to it too.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I love this team too in basketball. And Kentucky's gonna be really hard to beat again. They just I don't know why they shoot so well against us. I don't get it, B. I don't get it.
That matchup is awful. And I'm telling you, like, I hate to be the guy that says this, but I said it again. Remember, I said UConn is going to give Florida everything they could handle. I said this on the show last weekend. Chaz is due for a bad game, and I hate to be that guy.
Shut up.
Chaz has played so well, and you know it's true. That's why you just told me to shut up because
Yep.
he is due to go 1 for 8. He is due, y'all. This man has been unconscious since the SEC tournament. He ain't missed, and when he has missed, it's been like in and out. He's due. Chaz is due a stinker.
Well, that's where you're going to need other guys to step up, whether it's a Milicic maybe having a good game. Chase and I talked about this last Thursday, I believe it was, when we did the show live after they beat Wofford. It was, hey, look, there is going to come a time, you're right, Mick, where Chaz goes cold. But you need a Gainey to step up. You need a Milicic to step up. You need a Zakai to help, the scoring. Maybe Akpara gets, cleans up some messes and he scores you 10 points and 12 rebounds, something like that.
Mhm.
You need other guys to step up. And that's what it's going to take for Tennessee to beat Kentucky. And that's what it's going to take ultimately for Tennessee to get to where they want to be, which is, yes, you'd love to get to the Final Four for the first time in program history, but you also want to win a national championship, of course. If you want to do that, you need other guys to step up. It can't just be the Chaz Lanier show, game in and game out, round in, round out.
Yeah. And Gainey, he played okay at times on Saturday. He played a lot better in the second half, but he's somebody else. Like, we need SEC tournament Jordan Gainey to play. Like, he has to be awesome. Zakai's been great, but Milicic, man, in our group text, my boy Craig was always like, Milicic sucks. I know he missed, like, he got fouled on that dunk or whatever that got blocked, but dude, like, he's just too casual at times. Like, that was a slow gather that he was trying to kind of show off. Just go flush it, dude. Just go flush it very fast. Don't do your little gather step and try to show out. Go dunk it. You are not good enough right now to show up and show out. Like, that is not where he is playing. He's kind of had some tough turnovers and he's not knocking down threes. Like, he's got to play a lot better. Like, he's got to play a lot.
Igor has actually played in the 2 games that Tennessee lost to Kentucky this year. He's played really well.
Yes.
In the first game, he ended up having 19 points. He went 4 for 8 from distance. He had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, like probably one of the most complete games he's had all year long. And then in the second matchup, poured in 16 points, another 9 rebounds, 2 steals, like 3 for 4 from distance. So, like, that's the type of game that you're going to need from Igor. But you also need some other guys to step up because in the other games, in those games, Chaz 0 for 7 from downtown, Zakai 0 for 2, 10 points. Zakai still was able to get 17 points. And then the other game, Chaz did have 15 points, but he took 14 shots. He went 5 for 14. So you're going to need other guys to step up. And the defense really has to be there also because that's something that Tennessee hasn't really been able to do against Kentucky as well. They haven't defended well against Kentucky. And that's where you're talking about, Mig, I think, with the matchups, just not really matching up well with Kentucky.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And like for Milicic too, it's stay out of freaking foul trouble, man. Like, that's
picking up 3 in the first half. It's crazy. It's
crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Like
and you can't do that. And he did the same thing against Auburn, but yeah, we kind of held on against Auburn. But dude, the guys had 4.7 points. He had 2 decent games against Texas and South Carolina, so take it for what it's worth. But not many double-digit games. You're probably going to have one against Kentucky. Like, I need you to play like you have against Kentucky. Maybe that's just one of his favorite matchups. I don't know what it is, but we're going to need that to come out of you because they're going to do all they can against Chaz. UCLA just didn't have the guys to, like, lock up Chaz.
Not at all.
And I know that's what Mick Cronin wanted to do. He's going to try that. And they did a good job, like, on those first 5 or 6 plays, but, dude, you're eventually just going to get open. He's just – Rick's too good at designing screen downs, and he played fantastic. I just need another playmaker, and that needs to be Milicic and Gainey. Like, both of those guys have to play well. I don't know what it is. Kentucky just gets the green light and feels real confident against the boys from Knoxville. And an Indy's going to be a lot of blue, right?
For sure.
I'm going 70-30.
What sucks, dude? They travel so damn well.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be a fun one to go to.
It's so serious in Lexington. Like, they have their athletic skills. I was just there. Basketball is separate from everything else. So like
Really?
basketball is like in its own village, and then they put like Kroger Field, baseball, softball, soccer, all like this athletes. It's just like here, but like downtown, as soon as you get into Lexington, it's Rupp Arena and like this brand new convention center that is like
Mm.
sparkling. So you can tell that like it's nothing but basketball's king.
Yeah. It's cool when they have other good stuff. Like last year, they had such a good baseball team. Like it's cool when they have that. Like it's cool when Stoops is doing good up there. But for the most part, all they care about is basketball up there.
Oh yeah. Shout out my man Ryan Hagenoff. I work with him. He was a pitcher on that baseball team last year.
Oh, boy was
Yeah.
dealing.
Yeah. He pitched against SEMO. Had nothing but great things to say. But what's my man? The clap. What's his name?
Billy?
Billy Amick.
Yeah, said that he was a good guy.
Okay, well that's good.
I don't know.
Said he was an awesome baseball player.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude,
I'm
baseball,
sure that's what he said.
Baseball's popping off. Good one against Alabama this week.
Yeah.
They haven't smoked a cigar this in 365 days, Phil.
Feels good, but doesn't it?
I've been
Feels
smoking
real good.
cigars left and right. Man.
They listen to that song about Tennessee awful lot. down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
Dang. Smoke 'em if you got them, boys.
Been smoking them, man. My lungs hurt. My asthma's messing up.
Speaking of Alabama, they looked real good. They looked real good too. They can score a lot. They can score a whole lot of points.
You know what I hate about Alabama?
What's that?
Well, the entire state, but seriously,
Of
no.
course.
What I hate, they got a killer instinct in them. They know how to finish games. You know, albeit they didn't against Tennessee in this last matchup in the Food City TBA. If its mom was named TBA, I'm gonna call it TBA. I'm sorry, it's TBA
Yeah.
to me. I do not want to see Alabama, and I know that's really far fetched from happening, but like, I don't think anybody wants to play Alabama right now.
Also, look who they've faced. I know Robert Morris gave them a little bit of a game, but I don't know if I wholeheartedly believe in that St. Mary's team who barely got by Vanderbilt.
I think the only thing about the St. Mary's team is this is the most points anybody scored against St. Mary's in a long time. Like that's the only thing about it is St. Mary's can slow down the Lakers. You know, it's like one of those deals. And this one felt like, dude, if you're getting 80 on St. Mary's and as slow as that freaking team is, I hate watching this. Like that's always been a thing. Is like everybody's like, yeah, well, they're tough and gritty and they run screens. And I was like, dude, this is not the 40s. I don't care. I want dunks. I want athletes. I want my games at least in the 60s or 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the Gales can hold you in the 50s if they want to. So that last night was pretty nice. Like Sears didn't even have a great game, but they had 6 guys, I think, in double figures.
Yep.
Tough, dude. And
yeah, I think they'll get past.
Didn't even play.
I think they'll get past BYU, but then they're going to have to obviously face Duke, and that's going to be
a bust.
It's going to be an interesting matchup.
I don't know about dude. Those boys out from BYU can play.
I'm not saying they can't. That was a good game, good win against Wisconsin. They held on there late, but and they're a fun team. Alabama's just more talented in my opinion.
Yeah,
and to me, they'll get past them. They're favored by 5.5.
Richie Saunders is one of my favorite players. I mean, all year it's like there's like that little. He's the guy that's like destined to go to BYU, and he couldn't wait to do it. Scrappy, long blonde hair, super Mormon looking. Guy can get a bucket.
Love the bucket getters.
Love the bucket getters. That was a fun one. That was besides the UConn game. That was my favorite game of the weekend.
God, I really thought
BYU. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I hadn't really talked about it, but I was really hoping that my bracket was going to be busted and that UConn. I was going to only be okay if UConn was the one to do it because I've got Florida making it to the championship in both my brackets and winning in one of them. So that was going to be a big bracket buster. And for a while there, I thought UConn was going to be able to do it. They were actually playing some good defense. And then Walter Clayton Jr. just said, nah, I'm better than y'all dog. Pow, pow, pow. He made some incredible shots in that game.
He's the biggest stone cold killer in this whole bracket.
100%. He's an absolute dog, Ming. That's a great way to put it.
A dog, bro.
He is. Yeah. I was really impressed with his game. And shout out to Florida. Hats off, because you, like you said, Miggy, you nailed it. Like UConn gave them everything that they could handle. That was a team with obviously the championship pedigree, with a lot of players who'd been there, done that for the last couple of years, and they just couldn't finish better than they. I mean, they didn't have the best player on the floor in that matchup for sure.
That was the main thing. Like,
Yeah.
but it really did matter, like the championship experience, like being there, because there's a 3 down the stretch that Caravan maybe could have made, but for the most of the game, that's the best they probably could have played Florida.
Yeah,
I don't,
Not have played better.
yeah, and Florida didn't. They caused him problems. You could tell it going into the half, like they were frustrated. You could hear Martin's interview. You're like, they're kind of pissing him off. They're poking the bear, and it's like working. And then you poke the wrong bear, and Martin was like, no, I got you, dog. I got you. That pull-up 3, I was sitting there telling Hannah, I was like, there's probably 2 or 3 guys in the whole country that you're like, yeah, it's going in.
Yeah.
There ain't many. And that's one of them, dude. It was awesome. Awesome. Sorry, Maryland. It's going to be a real tough run for you, buddy. Derek Queen. Big
Makes
shot.
Antoine Jameson.
He definitely don't move as fast as Antoine. That might be like Antoine Jameson and molasses, bro.
Hey, he was able to get to where he needed to go to sing Colorado.
Yeah, Antoine would have turned that corner and got a left-handed layup. Queen had to pull up a prayer. Travel or no travel?
That was such a travel. Bro.
No travel.
Like, call it what it is, but it's fine. It's okay, but like, come on. Man.
Gather step.
And then
gather
Oregon.
step. Have you ever heard of it?
Oregon acts like, bro, they went on a 17-4 run to start the game and lost the basketball game.
That was a big one for the bracket too.
I was
needed that for Arizona.
Myself.
Yeah.
I went straight dog. So I went Kentucky, Ole Miss, doing a little Colorado State, and sprinkled in some Oregon in there. And yeah, guys just didn't do what they needed to do.
Chase, I don't know if you had mentioned your biggest disappointment so far the tournament. Who's your biggest disappointment so far of the tourney?
Both the guys you mentioned those are definitely the top. But I'll say another one, and I think it's like the seating where you got placed was kind of a gift. And that's Louisville. Everybody complained about where they got seated. How in the world could you do that? They just beat Clemson, number 5 seed. Should have been flip-flopped. But then you got this gift. You're playing in Lexington. You're an hour from your home. You have legit home court advantage. There was 5 Creighton fans there, and it was all mamas and daddies. Like, that's it. And you had home court advantage, and you stunk it up. Like, in that second half, you stunk it up. Creighton worked you. So for that all to happen, where you get misseated, but then you kind of get that gift, because we even talked about it. I think it was like Auburn didn't get an easy path because you think Louisville's might win that game, and then they got to play Louisville an hour down the road, and man, they just laid an egg, and it's par for the course for most of the ACC this year. Like Clemson stunk. I mean, that was one of the worst.
Carolina.
That's the worst first half. Like Carolina and Clemson played 2 of the worst first halves I've ever seen. Terrible. Just terrible, man.
At least they tried to make it close at the end there for y'all.
Yeah, but
they battled.
Too little too late. Little too late. I wanted it. I mean, I always believe in that 11 seed thing, but it didn't happen this year. Xavier didn't move on. Carolina didn't move on. Some of I think that's another part of like the formulas of usual paths didn't happen. The 11 seed didn't move on. The only thing that's close, like in those weird, like lower seeds, is
didn't Drake move? Drake moved. They won a game.
No, it's like whoever wins the first 4 is an 11 seed.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? Like Syracuse moved on, like the Sweet 16, and like so that kind of run. And then we had quite a few 5-12s, right? We had 2. Yeah, we had 2. So that's pretty good.
Who's the other one?
Who's the other 12? And Colorado State.
There you go. Yeah, Colorado State.
So some of the weird formula stuff just didn't work, man. It just didn't work. And Carolina, I guess we're keeping Hubert forever. I wish this was alcohol.
So you would like to see Hubert Davis gone?
Yeah, give me somebody else, dog.
Who would you want? Is there any names out there? I saw Mike Bibby is just took the Sacramento State job. You want Vincenity maybe to come back and coach?
No. We got to keep in the family. So there's nobody that's good, really good right now.
How about MJ?
Oh God, those players would die. He'd kill them.
You talk about dead,
dude. He would. They're especially this generation.
Yeah,
with all their ego.
Yeah,
there's no dude. He would have the worst players. He'd have they'd be tough as nails, but none of them could play ball. You know, they'd be like, yeah, because you have to be tough around Mike. I don't think this generation would take that. They're like, I don't care if you're giving me $1 bazillion or not. I can't.
This sucks. Mentally, I'm out of here. I can't.
Yeah.
Could you imagine media days with him and Belichick?
Oh,
bro, ESPN, they would make a little studio in Chapel.
You'd just be right there in the middle of Franklin Street. You'd have to take the whole damn street just to do it. It'd be awesome. I'd be there. It
would be pretty sick.
Dude, I can't wait for Belichick's. I'll let Raymond Felton keep podcasting.
Yeah, and eating.
That's the round guy, and
he is. Me. Dude, he was round with your Knicks too.
He was, and he just blew up.
Yeah, he can throw a dime, but
he can
spin them and eat them too.
He can dime or two on some chicken wings.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he was finding all the worst foods in New York City, man.
He was.
Dude, it's too good. If you found the right place up there, I bet God it'd be so good.
If you got that money too, oof.
I would have to walk. 13 bazillion steps a day just to wear off all that. But I'd be stopping at every food truck. All those food trucks are so good. Did you eat some of those, Miggy?
Everywhere, bro. I had hot dogs. I was trying to
put the nuts on the street.
Everything.
Oh, the kosher falafel stuff.
Delicious.
Yeah.
They got what else?
Taco trucks.
Yeah, the taco trucks are crazy.
Everything, dude.
So much goodness.
I wish our bowl game was in New York or something. We would go for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Or if we played in Syracuse, I would try to go.
Upstate New York's a little different.
Yeah, but I would stay. I would stay in New York City. Just go to the game, come back.
Oh,
okay.
That's a trek up to Syracuse.
Yeah, it's a longer ways than you think it is.
That's like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, we ain't going to Syracuse.
Dude, I would say it's basically like going from here to Memphis.
Oh no, sir! I hate that drive to Memphis.
Yeah,
I'll say this drive is probably way prettier because at least you go through the mountains. But no,
yeah, no. You got to drive up past Albany and things like that. So there's not much up there. It's
you're saying Albany's not hot up there, you know?
Kegs and eggs in Albany.
Eggs and eggs.
That shit's hot.
Forgive me because I'm gonna show how bad my geography skills are. That is the capital. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at you.
Got it, dog. How proud of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many capitals do you think you can name, Maggie?
20.
Okay.
Maybe
better than I could.
Maybe 25.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think we need to make a cut on that.
No, we'll make a cut. If we just had what's the thing? Next time we have a real content day. Let's just what states can we name? And let's just team up.
I love it.
Oh, so now you want to team up? I wanted you to just do it.
We could do how fast can we get the 50 states the correct capital.
For some reason, I feel that GT would eat. I feel he would absolutely serve up and give us 30.
This does feel like a very weird GT knowledge that he's got. That boy, I feel like he's a good trivia guy too, right?
Albuquerque, he would just be
crazy.
Y'all saw my geography skills when we went to Birmingham. Remember, we were doing the thing in the car, and Garrett was like, he asked me a question about where something was, and I don't even remember what it was, and I was like, I don't know if that's in Asia or something like that.
Yeah, there was a couple there. I was like, all right, G, we're gonna have to.
Is that your one thing that you're just not good at is geography?
Yeah, geography. I mean, Math. No, I'm not good in a lot of things. I'm just good in sports, I can teach
Yes.
somebody how to swing a bat, throw a ball, but I can't.
You put me in calculus, dog. There ain't no chance.
No way, Jose.
Yeah.
Science, not very good.
Can you count money?
I can count money.
Okay.
Yeah.
The NIL money?
Yeah. We don't have any of it at UTC, so it's really easy to count it.
We need to get some of that. We need
That
to
would
get
be
some of that.
fantastic. Anybody
One-
listening wants to do a collective or something like that?
One day there will be a Chatt It Up sports collective that helps out the teams we choose.
Could you imagine?
It would be debauchery. Like, especially, there was a couple apps involved. We'd have to be like,
You know
Well,
what
we
would
can
be
make-
so cool? If all the logistics companies in Chattanooga came together for an NIL collective for Chattanooga athletes.
ooh,
You might be onto something, my friend.
I think that would be
hey
really
now.
cool.
Wow.
Because like if you add up every single logistics company's revenue in Chattanooga per capita, that's easily $1 billion plus in revenue. So I don't know, bro.
Bro, there's got to be something to that.
There's something there that just happened in my head.
Miggy, you might have just got yourself a new job as UTC Mox Collective Coordinator.
Mox Collective Coordinator Malcolm Harris, dial it up.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to him.
Hey,
Talk to him.
put me in a room, G. I'm gonna sell it.
I got you.
How bad do you think the NIL is going to be the rest of for the next couple of years? Like, especially on the tournament, we go back to it to talk some more sports.
Awful.
Like, do you think we just keep like all 4 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s in every bracket one? You think that just stays because it's gonna be so top heavy?
Yeah.
Except for St. John's.
Well, they all won the first round. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Round of 64.
Yeah.
Whatever we have to specify that damn thing as.
I feel for the
First
high
round.
school kid. I feel for the high school kid because like to your point, CG, you said it earlier in the show, Rick Barnes, these older coaches that really don't got time to go tell your mama how good you are and eat the fried chicken and sit and talk about your girlfriend. Like they don't care about none of that. I'm going to Dalton Connect's house and I'm gonna say, spend a year here, I'll get you to the first round. And these mid majors are getting plugged. Like these talent like schools are really like those gems, those Jimmer. Well, he was at BYU, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like these Linsanity run kids, they are getting got because these scouting teams are so good in the SEC and the Power Four conferences.
Yeah. Yeah, it does it. And honestly, social media definitely has to help too. I mean, you can just find a guy like, dude, this guy got 35 and 12 and Northern Iowa, whatever. I just can't believe it's gotten this bad. And I don't know how they're going to fix it. I think the ratings are pretty good right now for the NCAA. But with the NIL, coaches going crazy. And G, you and I talked about it earlier. Like, they have to worry about the coaches going in, talking about a game plan for the Sweet 16, but also talking about, are they coming back? The thing you sent about Calipari. Like, what? What are we supposed to do there, dude?
Yeah, it's tough. Look, the transfer portal opened on Monday, and that is a big topic of conversation right now because it's going to have a major effect on the teams that are already playing. It almost puts them at a disadvantage. Now, of course, there are going to be guys that will go into transfer portal from the teams that are still remaining, whether it's NIT, whether it's the main tournament in the NCAA, whatever it may be. It puts the teams that are still playing at a disadvantage where, okay, now our sole focus should be trying to win a national championship. Like, all right, trying to win the Sweet 16, win the Elite Eight game, whatever it may be, get to a Final Four. And instead, now we're having to shift our focus a little bit to, hey, we got to make sure, our own kids are recruiting. They stay within our program, the ones that we want. And 2, okay, now we have to have at least half of an eye or one of our eyes on the transfer portal because we have to check out, okay, maybe there's a mid-major program that has a real good kid. Maybe we saw him in the tournament. Maybe, they played in the NIT or whatever it may be. who can we add that's in the portal to help maybe make us better? And all of these kids from these mid majors eventually want to get to the big time because, again, they want to get drafted, they want to get seen, they want to get paid, they want to get all of these things. There's no more loyalty in college athletics anymore. It's not, hey, I'm going to this program. The fight song fires me up. I have a deep-seated connection to this coach or this team or this area or this program. It's, hey, who's going to pay me the most money? Who can get me drafted? Who can do this or that for me? And so to me, I think it's very unfair that the transfer portal opens up while the NCAA tournament and the NIT tournaments are still ongoing. That should be a thing where the new college basketball year opens after the season's done, kind of like the NFL does. The new season doesn't start and free agency doesn't start until after the season's done. Why are we opening up the transfer portal right now, that mystical, magical portal? Why are we opening up now while the NCAA tournament and the NIT tournament are still going on? To me, it doesn't make a lick of sense, and it just is it creates a disadvantage for the teams that are still playing and doesn't allow them to focus on the things that they worked so freaking hard to focus on and to achieve all season long. It's just, it's doing a disservice to them.
To add on to that, G, I wish there was like somebody in Chatt It Up Sports that could translate this in like college football terms, because like I truly would love to just hear how this would look in college football. Because, yeah, to your point, I do think that it is really bad for college basketball, but college football, it is a pandemic in what's happening with the transfer portal as well. So if only we had a guy.
If only.
Imagine we had a guy. Test, you want to go hop in here?
Are you was that
that was an invitation?
Was that a summons?
That is a summons.
Was that a no camera summons?
That is Test Joseph Guthrie.
Oh God. Don't get me started on this. Don't get me started on the rant on the transfer portal, dude. It's literally a disaster. Like, y'all saw the comments from Coach Cal?
Yeah.
Is that we're having to have meetings with players on Mondays? Like, hey, are you still going to be here next year? Are you staying? Are you like we gotta prep for a game on Friday? Like, why are we having these conversations now? Why are we talking about players leaving, the roster emptying? Also, at the same time, like, if some of these players come out on Monday and they're like, hey, coach, yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna be gone next year. Okay, now we've got to start looking because we got to find your replacement before, God forbid, being in the SEC and coaching Arkansas, before Kentucky finds them, or Tennessee finds them, or Georgia finds them, or Florida finds them. I mean, you got this list of teams with how competitive the SEC is now. So it's like, okay, now instead of my focus being solely on preparing for a Sweet 16 game, now all of a sudden I've got to prep for a Sweet 16 game while I've also got to appease players that are thinking about entering the portal. On top of that, I've also got to look out for other players that are potentially entering the portal, for players that I have that could be entering the portal. It's just a disaster, dude. Like, how are you supposed to enjoy basketball? How are you supposed to enjoy sports when you're focused on everything that's not sports while we're in the middle of the season?
It's frustrating.
Exactly.
It's so frustrating. And with the NCAA, like, sometimes common sense ain't so common.
No.
I think that's, they have created their own chaos with transfer portal timing, them not understanding how big the NIL world was going to be. Maybe some people kind of predicted it, but for the most part, it felt like The Big Short, where everybody was, oh, this will just be great, it'll be fine. And there was a few people really like, man, it's going to be more of a wild, wild west than you ever thought. And they have put themselves in such a hole. And it makes it really tough to watch some of these sports. Basketball has been the worst to me. Yes, it's kind of like looking at it because you're looking at every time. And I know we mentioned this a couple pods ago. Like, you look at a stat line and you look at guys' stats from 3 or 4 years, you're looking at 3 or 4 different schools in basketball.
Yeah.
This guy jumps. And listen, basketball is the biggest diva sport in the world, and there's no doubt about it. Like, the way these guys act, I mean, it's a superstar world. Like, because your face is seen, there's only 5 of you on the court. You can get paid and everybody thinks they're awesome. So for the most part, man, I just don't know how they're going to dig themselves out of a hole. And this has to be something they're going to have to figure out ASAP. The transfer portal, because now, as Coach Cal mentioned, not only that, like, the way the news buzz world works, like, Now you have to go compete with Sean Miller with Texas money. And you got to prepare for a whole week of big games. You're trying to win a championship now. Now you got to compete with Sean Miller. Now you got to compete with Drake's head coach that's now with Iowa. Like you're getting some big names in some big places. And you got to just try. Or now we're going to see, hey, Rick Pitino's got an extra week to start snagging some of these kids. Good luck. Good luck. This is going to be something they have to address like next year. Like this has to change fast.
Question for you guys, because my head's thinking, like, Rich Paul, is he in the NIL, like Maverick Carter, that whole, are they in NIL land?
I don't think so. Not
Like,
yet.
can you be that, like a professional sports agent, but then also be an NIL collective and have money there too? Like, how does that work? Because eventually, man, like what if I'm like Cooper and I'm just like, yo, like I'm not trying to really go to the NBA. I don't want to be coached by the Wizards, or I don't want to go to Utah. I'm really not feeling going to the Hornets, but I want to go to the highest bidder. What does that look like? What if he just holds his services for ransom?
Maybe. I mean, he's got Juju Watkins. He had Bronny. He's got Bryce. They are in the world, but I was kind of reading this article here. He says, I struggle with NIL. I'm not going to lie. It would be different if the kids were getting money at such a young age and it was going into an experienced infrastructure. It would be a lot. I would think about it a lot differently, but now I hate going to the game. Again, I disrupted it in a lot of ways. And with Darius Baisley $1 million internship years ago, I get that aspect of it. So it's all these he's like, this is just, it's madness. Like there's no true infrastructure. It's just like you get X dollar because we want you to get there. And we all know it. Like these donors, especially like, to be honest, at Tennessee, like when you're winning, they'll cough up an extra couple $100,000. And there's people making so much money that feels like a couple $100 extra bucks.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, man. It's crazy like how much the wealthy now have more power than ever. Because I mean, it used to feel like that, but it was under the table. Now they get to come out and show themselves and get proud. Now they're getting a pat on the back for things they would have got arrested for 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
Amir Khan got $100,000 and some insomnia cookies.
And
insomnia cookies. If we're just tossing
Aura,
out money,
baby, aura,
we got all the aura you need. Come to Chat It Up Sports, B-Dubs. Well,
he's gonna have a real good time in Raleigh, brother. There's a couple.
Are you salty?
B-dubs.
Are you salty if you're McNeese? Like if you're a basketball player, like you're just gonna up and leave and dip and just go get a bag off of us, and you didn't shoot one basketball?
I don't think so, dude. I honestly I think that McNeese team has the best grasp on this whole thing. It sounds like all of them are like, hey man, it's a business. We appreciate you, coach, for being honest. We want to make a bag too. You help us be great. You help us go on and make some more money. We're in it. And they did it, man. Like you win a big game. Not good for my bracket, but you win a big game.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I think I actually like the way that, he handled it from the perspective of just being very open and honest about the whole thing of, hey, look, I'm talking to NC State. I talked to the players about it. I'm not hiding anything. And, did we talk about it on Thursday, Chase, about this whole situation of
a little bit?
I thought so. And, it was one of those things where it could go one way or the other. It could be like, hey, like, let's make a run at this thing. This is kind of like the last gasp of I'm here.
Last gasp over there.
Yeah, for real. You good, dog?
Bro, I felt like my body just sent a screenshot. I sneezed and coughed at the same time. Please do not play this back because y'all just saw me about pass away.
Dude.
Go ahead. Let me mute my mic, man.
You're good, dog.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love the way they handle it, just the honesty. And look, it seemed to galvanize the bunch. And it's just sort of the day and age we live in now that, yeah, these mid-major programs that obviously Will Wade had been a big time coach. He was at Chattanooga, was at VCU, and then got the job at LSU. Obviously, got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, to lack of a better term, in terms of getting caught on that recording talking about money and the players before this NIL thing was legitimate, and that was kind of a big story when I was working in Louisiana. We
Was
talked
that
a lot
Zion?
about. No, it was not Zion. It was somebody else.
He
Okay.
was in the cookie jar too, fellas.
He was definitely in the cookie jar, bro.
He sure was. He sure is still.
Yeah,
and then he kind of like, it almost felt like he got jettisoned a little bit to McNeese. He took a little time off. He came back to Chattanooga. I heard he lived here. Coach Reed and I were kind of talking about him a little bit. Likes Big Will. He's a big Will Wade guy. Spent a lot of time in Chattanooga. Loves Chattanooga. Shout out to Will Wade. We love you for loving Chattanooga. And then took that McNeese team and did some great things with them. And so now that's kind of where we are with these guys now in these mid-major programs of, hey, everybody's trying to get a bag some way, somehow, in terms of making money and finding opportunities. And look, there's a lot of new guys that are on the move. Obviously, Will Wade is going to go to NC State, and then Ben McCullum from Drake to Iowa, Ryan Odom for VCU to Virginia, Nico Medved from Colorado State to Minnesota. So, like, shout out to all these guys at these mid-major programs that are elevating themselves and their programs and their teams, and then getting a bag off of it. You mentioned Dusty May,
Dusty May,
from FAU, Lamont Paris from UTC.
Go get your money, dude.
Yeah, dude, get your money, get a bigger opportunity. Like, again, we talked about earlier, there's like no loyalty anywhere in sports, whether it's players, whether it's coaches, from head coaches to assistant coaches, things like that. Like, it's all, a moving game of, hey, I want to get to this biggest job. I want to get paid. Like, there is not a whole lot of loyalty to people saying there. No, there is. I'm not going to say like it's non-existent. There is still some loyalty involved, but as we know, money talks.
Money talks. And it's hard. I mean, obviously you've seen it down in Miami with Jim Larinaga. Like, that team fell apart. He had guys from a Final Four team that all could have came back. They were like, nah, man, I want to go on and get my bag somewhere. It's like, dude, you're getting money in Miami. It's not like you aren't getting anything. It's not like you're getting
money in Miami.
Yes, man. It's like, dude. So that part's tough. I think it's player loyalty. Oh, and I wonder how they're going to change that. And you're not going to do it by allowing coaches to go for a year. I mean, Drake Scott was there for a year. 1 year. 1 year.
I mean, that reminds me of, and I mentioned this on podcasts previous, that like, it reminds me of Eli Drinkowitz, who was at App State for 1 year.
Yeah.
Had a really good year, won the Sun Belt, and then bolted for Missouri.
See you.
Stepping stones. That's all it is. It's all about the stepping stones and finding that bag and being able to move up, because anybody who's a competitor wants an opportunity to coach for a Power 4 program, play for a Power 4 program, and not only win a conference championship, regular season tournament, but also a national championship in whatever sport you're competing in. That's the ultimate. If you can put yourself in that position to be in a Power 4 program, to compete for a national championship in your sport, why would you not take it?
Why would you not? It's dumb not to.
Yeah.
Don't miss your opportunities. I hate to say this, like, because I feel like there was a lot of players that did that before in basketball. Which comes to mind is James Michael McAdoo. He was a projected top 5 pick coming out his freshman year, and it was all potential based. He wasn't averaging 10 points a game, nothing like that. He was just a freak of nature athlete, and he should have taken it. And then by the end of it, I think he was drafted late in the second round.
Golden State, right?
Yeah. And it's like, man, go get your bag. Don't miss opportunities. And that's not a knock on James Michael McAdoo. It's just like, don't miss your opportunities. Don't miss getting your bag. That works out.
I will say, we were talking about Will Wade. I do not think he will be at NC State long, but he will be in the state of North Carolina.
He ain't coming to Chapel Hill, bro. We don't want no troublemakers.
I think you won't win. I think if you see that Battle of Tobacco Road go south one more time, I think you take best available who is out there. You know you hate losing to Duke more than anything in itself. You do. You hate it.
Especially 3 times in a row, bro.
Yeah, it's like, all right, like come on. Like the battle
without Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that if Will Wade wins 25, 30 games down the street with little brother NC State, I think you take a hard look.
I'll say this: being there, living there, that right, not as a football program, but as a basketball program, that's a sleeping giant. There's so much money over there.
NC State and Raleigh.
Yeah, there's so much money. They're redoing all the facilities, dude, and they love it. They love it. I would say there's more, especially in the city of Raleigh. There's way more NC State. Obviously, in the surrounding areas, it's Duke, Carolina, and there's plenty there too. But NC State is a basketball program because you have the massive arena. Like you have a big arena there. You are the biggest school. I think they're the biggest school. And you're in that city. Like you are in the city of Raleigh. Like you get to have that additive. Buddy, if he does well and he does, I think he will. I think he will. Like I always like to say that Carolina's like the A-class people, Duke's the snooty people, and NC State's the rednecks. You get that redneck crowd going, brother. Watch out. Watch out, man. Because that's going to be a fun place to make a good basketball team. That's all I have to say. I don't want it to happen, but now that Will's there and they got Aura, it's going to be tough not to make it happen.
Aura.
The Polynesian Prince, Nico Iamaleava, when he walked into Charlotte, North Carolina against NC State, I was scared to death pre-kickoff. They showed up, man. NC State fans are ruthless. And they left.
They left real fast.
You know, we had to show them what this SEC ball is about.
Yeah, it was way different. They weren't ready for that.
Could have put up 70, but Josh Heupel said, hey, don't open up the playbook.
Pump the brakes.
Hindsight's 2020. He should have opened up that damn playbook because we never saw it open last season.
I was going to say, still waiting for him to open it from last year.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there, but saying all that to say, NC State, it's a great town.
Yeah, I haven't spent much time in Raleigh, but heard a lot of really good things about it. I've also never been to Asheville. I've always wanted to go to Asheville.
I think you like Asheville.
I think you'd like it too.
Yeah.
It's a cool place. The people, if you don't like it, you're gonna say a lot of hippies. A lot of hippies. A lot of drum. There's a lot of people playing drums out there.
I went to school up near Vermont. There's a lot of tree hugging hippies up that way.
It's that in the city. That's that's a good point. Like the Vermont area, like I've heard Burlington's very similar. So
it's a lot colder as well.
Yeah,
in Burlington.
Yeah, Asheville is a fun place. I've had a lot of fun there. One of my best friends got married up there. Shout out to UTC Mocs offensive line coach Kevin Revis. Stayed in the coolest Airbnb. It was called the Mountain House because it was literally built inside the mountain. There's a porch inside the house. There was a rock face. It's pretty sweet.
Wow, that is dope.
It was pretty sweet.
Still waiting on the CG bachelor party.
Keep waiting, boys. Can't take a pack and play down to Miami. I'll say that.
Golly, you cannot.
Can't take a pack and play to Miami.
You cannot.
Yeah. No. We'll keep waiting. One day
when
we get this bag for Chatt It Up and Mama gives me a chance to pay for a long extended babysitter, we'll do that.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. All right. The last thing I wanted to ask you guys before we wrap it up here on the show tonight was biggest surprise so far of the tournament. Who was a good surprise in your eyes that that maybe you didn't expect getting to where they got to, other than, I guess, Arkansas, since we already kind of talked a lot about them and lamented about them a lot?
I guess it's BYU. I mean, I thought so. Like watching BYU this year, this is going to be a really good program. But that Wisconsin game was so fun. But BYU, like I really think they're put together. Some really good big guards. They can score it. And because they have like sneaky white guys, everybody's like, wow, they're way more athletic than I thought. It's like, yeah, dude, they can play. So it's going to be a lot of scoring in this Alabama game. I'll just say that. I think BYU can hang. I have them in my Elite Eight. I have them beating Bama here.
Wow.
So BYU is who is the surprise, but I don't think they're a surprise. And they also spent so much money on NIL for the number one player in the country next year. So speaking of NIL again. Miggy?
I'll stay home. I expected Reverend Rick to get bounced before he even made this.
No, you did.
Come on now.
Yeah, I did. Man.
Did you feel like the Wofford thing was there for the taking?
Yes. I will admit it right now on the show. Absolutely. So no, give me Tennessee. I'm shocked they made it. I'm literally just here for the ride. As a Tennessee fan, I've seen this song and dance year after year after year. So give me the balls, man. Hopefully they prove me wrong.
All right, I guess the teams that I'm looking at that kind of surprised me a little bit. Michigan, because I didn't expect them. I didn't pick them to get past UC San Diego. And they upset. Well, not really. Yeah, a little bit of slight upset over
I'd say
Texas
slight
A&M.
upset. Yeah.
Slight upset over Texas A&M.
God,
And then
what a
another
fall
SEC
from earth from
team.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, for real. And then another SEC team that I didn't really know what to expect from them because I thought the Tar Heels were going to beat them was Ole Miss, and they beat UNC pretty handily, and then they, beat up on Iowa State. So look, they get a chance to face Michigan State, and from what I've seen out of Michigan State the first couple of weekends, potentially beatable. I know Tal Izzo's different in March, but potentially beatable the way that Ole Miss has played so far in this tournament. Do you guys have like a, maybe like somebody who should be on upset alert in Sweet 16? I was kind of thinking maybe Michigan State, that just kind of going off of
History.
that. You've got BYU, obviously, Chase.
Yeah, BYU, and if there's another one, just because of size, it would be Michigan over Auburn. There's two 6'10" to 7-footer guys that are running a pick and roll together up there in Michigan. Like it's tough to stop. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about like this Auburn team. Like there's a lot of really, really good players, and obviously Broome is close, but there's no like go get me a bucket every time guy. And that sometimes gets you in the tournament. Now, obviously, they play so well together that it pretty much negates that right now. But in those moments in these tight Sweet 16 games, they're going to be able to throw some guys at Broome, like Wolf, Golden. Like these are guys that can handle at least part of the time against Broome. So that's going to be a watch out game for me. I may get proven wrong because Michigan's obviously beatable, but because of the size, I think that can actually happen.
Malk?
If I had to go with it, man, we've already talked about it, but since Cal's got these boys here, they might as well just keep going. Right?
Shut up, dude.
And I just think for the double-digit seeds, like that's really it. I mean, outside of that, maybe Florida gets upset. I just think that UConn again gave them everything that they could handle. When I look at it, I mean, who else?
Yeah.
Alabama is on the clock. To your point, I don't think that Arizona's going to get it done. Tom Izzo's Tom Izzo, and Tom Izzo is known for these moments to really just kind of fumble the bag. Like, if we really want to speak on it, Michigan State ain't done much post 2010, right? Unless I'm tripping. Have they won anything of significance?
I feel like they made a Final Four somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like I do think it was as a lower seed.
Yeah.
I'm on it. I got to research that. I feel like
that's all right. I'm sorry to just throw that out there, but yeah, I like Coach Izzo. I mean, and I had a couple of homies that actually went to Michigan State.
Okay, so they made a Final Four in 2010, 2015, and 2019.
Okay, so it's recent. It's better than Tennessee's ever done.
26. The last Sweet 16 they made was 2003, but the 2019 team was good. They've not won since 2000. They got their ass beat in 2009 against Carolina.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking
Yeah, smoked, bro.
That's what I was thinking.
Smoked them.
They made it to the Elite Eight in 2000. What was that? 22
No, they well,
regional semifinal. That's Elite Eight.
I got 2023 against Sweet 16
Was
per
that-
Wikipedia. Per Wikipedia.
Huh.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the scores.
You said
from-
22, 23
Yeah.
regional semifinal.
Is that
That's
Sweet 16 or Elite
that's Sweet
Eight?
16. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we tried. I counted up the teams. There are only 8 of them.
Yeah. There's a regional
2, 4,
final, and that's
6,
Elite
8.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, Tom Izzo.
Sweet 16. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
It's back there again.
Back there again. Back there. Again.
Well, speaking of brackets and things along those lines, I was just kind of going through it as y'all were talking about, the different teams and just kind of checking on where everybody was at the bracket challenge. We've got Joseph in 5th out of us 5, and then Garrett, Chase, Miggy, and then yours truly.
Yeah, I took some gambles, man. I had to lean on to some Gonzaga. I was like, you got to try to win. So I went with Gonzaga, the upset. Don't feel great about that one now.
And then shout out to Mamarika 13. She's in
What?
first place.
What?
Oh,
She is at 99.9%, boys.
when I tell you, second day after I tailed the other dude, I tailed her, and she missed one. I should have round robined it, but like it just crushed.
What a day, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
She went like what is that? 13 for 14?
Her and Chad Jackson's picks, they are cooking right now.
Cooking.
Dude.
They're at 550 points apiece.
And it's going to come down to them, obviously. Well, probably. Because I think they pretty much have the same picks, and it's going to be Duke versus Florida, and one of them has Florida, one of them has Duke.
Okay. All right.
Whoa. Here we go.
Mm.
Going to be interesting unless Than, who's got Tennessee, finds a way to win.
Yeah. And Jay Leaps.
Yep, it's got Alabama.
Yeah. Dang. All right.
Yep. Going to be interesting, boys. Going to be interesting as we continue on with the Chatt It Up bracket challenge. All right, it's been a fun show so far on this episode this week as we are rolling through March Madness. We're going to try to figure out what we have guest-wise for you. I know I'm going to have a conversation with the UTC head softball coach, Frank Reed, on Wednesday coming up for you. And then we will either do a show pre-Sweet 16 or while the Sweet 16 is going on, whether it's Wednesday night or Thursday night. We're going to figure it out. We will let you know. But again, follow us all over social media at Chatt It Up Sports. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all the good things, and wherever you get your podcasts, hit us up on there as well. Follow us, subscribe, like, all the good things at Chatt It Up Sports. For Joseph Guthrie, who's in the background, Garrett Tolley, who's not with us tonight, Malcolm Harris to my left, Chase to my right. I'm Greg Launard. Have a great day. Thanks so much for listening to Chatt It Up Sports. We love and appreciate you. Have a great day. Be good to somebody and make somebody's day. Love yous.